Hi, I'm Leah, and this is my video about recycled card making. So I do this video, no, not video, workshop about this every year, about this time, to pass on this about how you can make cards out of your own rubbish, and recycle stuff to make really beautiful cards. So I try and put it out a bit earlier so that if people want to make their own Christmas cards and things, then there's plenty of time to do it. I normally do this as a workshop from home, like an actual, like people can come and do this workshop for free. But this year I thought I'll do it online because yeah, some of you might enjoy it. So and I'm not doing it at home this year. So yeah, so I'll just show you some of the cards I've made, and these are completely and utterly 100% made out of rubbish. And then after I've shown you some of the designs I've made and some of the things that I've done, they're really simple designs. Then after I've shown you those anyway, then I'll show you what kind of materials I've used in there to make them, what kind of things I've saved out of the rubbish, and then kind of just a rough idea of how I built those up to make the pictures. So there's a little house one, and a tree, and a flower, there's another little tree, mushroomy kind of thing, little toadstool. This one's one of my favourites. This is a caravan. There's another toadstool. And a little wizardy house. That one's got a flower on it. I don't know why I'm telling you that, you can see it. I'll just hold them up. This is little bird bells, you know, like little Indian bird bells. I love them, and I've got them all over the place. So I made a card with bird bells on it. And these ones that I'm showing you, most of these are examples that I keep just to show the wide range of things that could be put on the cards, and then I'll make different ones that I use, and Elfie makes them, ones that she sends out. This one's a gift tag, and so is that one. This one's one that I saved that Elfie made when she was really, really little, and this is this little house. It says up here that that's Elfie's writing when she was really little. It says Samwise Gamgee, and this is Samwise Gamgee's house. I love it. I'm going to put that one in a frame. And this is one she made when she was really tiny as well. And she told me that these are flags, and you can see, I can see that there's flags. So she made a lovely card. Like, I think it's like little kites and things, and it's got flags on the top, so it's a really exciting card. So I kept those too. Really love those. And I've got a few others of Elfie's cards as well that I've kept. I've got one more. Okay, so now that I've shown the cards, I'll show you some of the materials that are used in them that you might not recognise at first glance. So this one, this little gift tag, this is a wrapping. I think this might be some of our rubbish. Sometimes I've got other people to collect rubbish for me as well, and I was recycling other people's rubbish because I was making a lot of these cards at one point. I don't use as many cards now, so I don't make as many. But I think this one was my rubbish. I think it's some like little fruit roll-ups or something, little what do you call it, like fruit leather roll-ups or something. So I cut out the packet and I stuck it onto an egg box. This is like a pink, you know, that kind of rough cardboard off an egg box. And then here inside, this is what I do inside, is I stick a bit of paper on, and there's some little curly patterns that I've done on there just to make it look nice. So I stick a piece of paper inside, and then that's what can be written on, if there's writing on, you know, if it's not writable on inside. And then these bits, these are some, so what the kind of things I collect is packets from food, like food packets, clean food packets, newspapers, magazines. These are off old cards, so like I had about 8 or 10 people keeping their old Christmas and birthday cards for me for years, and now I've got loads, so I don't collect them up anymore because I've got enough. But these are like some little pieces off the cards that I just peeled off and kept. And this is one that I cut out off a birthday card, and I've just restuck them on. So you just, you know, I've just rearranged them into a nice pattern. And then this one is a packet from some organic herbs, like, you know, the little herb packets that you get in health food shops. It's a little packet and it had this little tree on it, so I cut it out. And then I drew the roots on, so I stuck it onto some yellow paper from a packet, and then I drew some clouds and roots, and just kind of, that one I just really went with whatever I've got, you know, whatever was in the picture, just made it into something. And then I always put little edgings around it. So what this is stuck on, this one, is actually a flattened toilet roll tube. So you can just see the lines there. So it's just literally flattened out and then cut open, and then cut to size of a little card, or a small one. And then on the top of the toilet roll tube, I've then stuck, this is newspaper. It's actually from a newspaper called the Positive News. Somebody kept a few of those for me that they were having, so it's all got nice positive things written on it, which is nice, like good things that are happening in the world. And then me and Elfie got some of her eco paints, and we just I think that's sponged on, you know, just kind of like sponge the different colours together to look all mottled and nice. And then on top of that we stuck that piece of packaging paper, and then the little herb packet. So I just keep layering, it's all about layers really, doing them like this. I just kept layering them up, and then use pens to write on afterwards and do patterns. And then any of these little silvery bits, you see little things, these are just things that I've pulled off old greetings cards and then restuck back onto the new cards. And inside there I've stuck a piece of this, any of this plain paper stuff sometimes is envelopes, so it's old envelopes. And then I've cut, you know, like the bit that's written on, I'll either turn it upside down so that the bit that's written on is inside there, and use the plain part that can be reused. Okay, this one and this one and this one, these are all no glue, so I wanted to make some cards that was not using glue. I've got my grandmother's old Singer sewing machine. You could use electric sewing machine, doesn't matter what sewing machine, but I've got my grandmother's Singer one, which works just hand turned. And so I stitched layers and layers and layers of newspaper together, or magazines, to make it thick so it would stand up like a card, because when I made these ones I hadn't got enough card, you know, old cards to recycle, so I just used what I had, and it's literally just pieces of newspaper stitched together around the edges, and you can see inside all the stitching. And then stitch the layers of the different coloured, yeah, that's still newspaper, it's just a picture that was in a paper, and I just cut out to get the nice blues. And then this is some plastic rubbish, and there was a glittery heart that I'd saved off a card, and I just put that inside and stitched the plastic on top, and because it was going to get thrown away anyway, just made a nice shiny glittery card. And then inside I've stitched a piece of brown paper bag, you know, it's like had some carrots in or something, and just used that. Let's see what else I've got. That's things that this blue wrapping here is off a soap. I can remember what all these things are. This is a soap wrapping, and then I've got various bits of wrapping paper. So when people give me anything that's wrapped in wrapping paper, or I have people that do, not have people, you know, I know people who do save their wrapping paper for us, because they're going to throw it away and they're not going to reuse it. And a lot of wrapping paper is also like this, you know, it's not just paper, it's like really not that eco-friendly, but it's very, very pretty. So if that gets thrown in the bin, that's such a shame, when it could be reused. So I keep all the shimmery ones especially, and reuse those. And sometimes I make art pictures as well that go in frames, out of things like that. This is some tin foil, and then some other bits of magazine. This is another stitched one, and then this is another stitched one, just to show you that. And this one's all made out of, there's bits of newspaper. This is an old card, and then what I do is, where the card's been written inside and sent to someone, I just stitch or stick a piece of the envelope, the plain part of the envelope, to recycle inside over it so it can be written on again. And then the front of the card with the picture on is underneath this paper, so I've made a new design on top. This one is someone's cereal packet. You can just see, so this is the back of a cereal packet, and then I've used, that's some sort of metallic Christmas paper, and then just layers of different paper. It works best when the papers really contrast with each other, otherwise they're kind of all mishmashing together. So see there, I've got this like metallic one, and then I've got a piece of purple envelope and a piece of yellow envelope, and then there's another shiny one there and a bit of pink. So I try and make them stand out against each other as much as I can. So this is little bits of newspaper cut out for the leaves, and then I've just used a pen to outline everything to make it stand out off the card, because this card was so busy with all the information on it. I wanted it to really stand out. And there's another one that's been made out of an old cereal packet. This one is layers of magazine paper, and some a piece of an envelope, and then bits of magazine cut out to make a flower. That's another one being stitched on with a tree onto newspaper. And I just show you, I just stitch a piece of plain paper inside to write on. This one, if I get a pretty card, so imagine that flower's not on there, this was just a pretty greetings card with no writing on it, and the background was, you know, the picture on it was so lovely, it's like a photograph of some flowers. I'll just use that as the background as it is, and then I've put my own flower on top of that. So I've just literally took that, this is the whole front off a card, I've cut the back off, used that for another one, folded the front of the card in half, and that's stuck inside. That did have writing on it, so I've stuck inside with some brown paper bags, just again off some carrots or something. This one was off a little kit that I got from a charity shop, and it came in a little box, so I just reused the box, and again just stuck different wrapping papers and bits of things cut out in circles. So you just cut out the circles and just layer them slightly smaller on top of each other, and I've just drawn some petals around the outside and glued some leaves on. There's another one. This is some old music paper. Somebody gave me an old music book, and you can see when I open that up that that's the whole back of a card. So the front of the card's been used for another one, and this is the whole back of the card been used for a different card. So that's that one. So there's that's a chocolate wrapper. This is a little bit of magazine. and then there's a bit of envelope, and then I draw little details on. I like doing little doodles and details. And then inside I've stuck some magazine and then a piece of envelope to write on. There's another one. This one is the mottled newspaper me and Elfie printed on top of, you know, with the sponge and the eco paints. And I have not stuck the paper inside that one yet. I left that one blank to show, you know, that I would have stuck a piece of, in fact you can write inside that as it is because there's enough space, but like if there's a lot of writing inside the card, then I'll stick something over it so that you can write inside. And this one again, wrapping paper, music paper, little bits of cards just cut out. I cut out the shape of the flower and then the circles in the centre. And there's another one. Oops. Oh, this is bits of map. I love maps. I really love map books. So I've got loads of map books and any of the old ones, and I just, if they get ripped pages, then I just cut those out and use those as well, and they're really nice. There's another one with hearts on, cut out of, again, newspaper, bits of envelopes, some shiny paper off a card there, or some wrapping paper. And you can see all the different wrapping papers and envelope pieces on that one, and then just detailed over the top with pens. This one was an old calendar, because sometimes calendars have really lovely pictures on, so I keep all the shiny pictures off the calendars, and then I've just reused those to stick on top of a card. That's another toilet roll card. A piece of a fairy calendar. I don't think it was even my calendar, I think it was someone else's, and they gave me the pictures of it. So I tell people that collect things for me that the kind of things that I use, and then they give them to me instead of putting them in the rubbish. And that was someone's lovely calendar. And then I just stuck these little stars on and did some outlines, and I made some little mushrooms on it, and the fairy was already on the calendar. Well, that's just another one of the flowers. I like doing flowers. This one is this was a card that had a hole in it, and then the picture inside, I don't know, it's a teddy bear or something like that. So me and Elfie printed some paper, I stuck it inside, and then made a little flower to go inside it. And because this printed paper was in light colours, I was able to draw lots of stars and flowers all over it on the little window. And then to write inside that one, I would just put, I haven't put it on yet, but because I'm not going to use it, but because it's one of my examples, but I'd just stick a piece of envelope on the back and write on the back. And that's another one just made out of an old card, and you can see there inside, this is a whole card. There's a whole card that's you can see the thing on the back of there, but it was a card, and then I stuck the stuff on to make the front, stuck stuff inside to make a different inside, and a piece of envelope to write on, and I've even put little details on that to make it pretty. Envelopes, in case I forget to say, I've literally just stitched these out of magazines, really simple little pockets. Actually, that's the wrong way around. There we go. Little pockets out of magazines or newspapers. How strong they are depends on whether you're putting in the post and things like that, or giving them straight to the person. So they're just stitched up each side, folded in half at the bottom, or stitched along the bottom, and then they can be stuck down, and a piece of plain envelope stuck on top to write the address on or the name on. This one, again, the front of an old card. I've cut the back off, reused that for another one that I've covered with paper, and then the inside of it is blank already because it's the front of the card, so it's already blank inside, which is great. So that was the picture on it, and then I stuck the tree design over the top with some little bits of wrapping paper, sparkly. And then this one was a card that I've stuck the newspaper inside so that I can stick a piece of envelope over the top of that I can write in, and then over the top of the design of the card I've I've stitched it on. I've stitched on some matte paper that I burnt around the edges. I really like that, you know, that kind of like what's that, distressed look, you know. I've kind of burnt it all around the edges to make a nice shape, and then stitched on the rectangle shape and stuck the little birds on from some wrapping paper that I cut out. And this one again, different bits of wrapping paper and some mottled newspaper that I've covered with Elfie. We've done it together with the paints and the sponge, just different shades of colours, and we've just layered it up. And then a little bit about the designs, like it's really simple shapes. So on this one, it's literally just a little square cut out, and then I cut out the little doorway shape, cut out the little window shapes, cut out the little roof shape and the little details, draw the stars on, and just do a little outline around the edge just to make it stand out, and a little door handle. And the same on the little house. And is that a button? No, little jewel off an old card. And this is a chocolate box and some wrapping paper. And this one, what's that one? There's a piece of a magazine with a badger on it, and then some other bits of wrapping papers and things layered up. So I cut out the little stalk for the mushroom first, and then one layer stuck over the top, and then the other triangle layer stuck over the top, and then the little spots on there, and I put some little designs of stars around it. I just keep adding details till it looks nice to me, and then I stop. And there's another one. This was this was the original card, and it said like happy birthday, or it might have had a little picture on there, and then I've covered it up again with some burnt edge. I've burnt the edges of the newspaper and then stuck that on and stitched a square over the top. And this is a cut out flower from another card, and I've drawn that with a pen. And this one's got a bit of old calendar on it, wrapping paper. So again, just cut out the bottom part, cut out the little door. I just keep adding it in layers. And this one, so this looks like it was a packet from something that someone's had, and then I've just I've recycled with love on the back. I don't know if it's back to front on the video or not. So I've cut out the base stalk of the mushroom, and then the top bit, and stuck it over the top, and then the grass and the stars. And the little caravan, I've just cut out a kind of shape of a caravan. This is all from bits of old wrapping paper that I've saved up. Sometimes I've got really nice wrapping papers that I've saved up for years, I think, you know, for a job that I want to use it for at some point. And then I've got them all out and made this nice caravan and some bunting paper. And sometimes I put bunting, like actually like cut out bunting. I haven't got one with me because I sent them all out, the ones that had the bunting on, but I love doing ones where I just draw a line and then cut out little triangles and stick the little buntings on, and that looks really, really nice. Just that, literally just bunting on a card, which looks really pretty, especially if it's that way and it's long. You just do a string of bunting coming across the front. That looks lovely. And then I've just drawn the details onto the caravan afterwards, cut out the little windows and doors and things. And then that's the last one with the little mushroom on. I've done lots of little drawn details, and Elfie's done her house the same. Like she used her wibbly wobbly scissors that she had when she was tiny and cut out the interesting shape for her house, so it looks all like a little mud house. And then she's used some old wrapping paper and made a little chimney coming off the side and stuck some little stars on that she had. And this was a little circular piece I had in a box, and she's used that for the door. So yeah, if anybody's got any questions about it or wants to know anything about it, there's a nice company, I think they're now called Lakeland Paints, and they do a organic PVA glue, and that one's really, really good for sticking everything on using the organic PVA, and that seems to stick really well. Nothing's ever fell off. So yeah, I've had some of these cards for years to use as examples in my workshops, and they've kept it well. So I hope you enjoy it if you do some. So I would recommend just keep it every time you get some pretty rubbish or rubbish with nice colours on, you know, like a cereal box or something that's colourful. Just keep a box somewhere and keep everything stacked up in there, because then the more things you've got to choose from, it's going to be easier to make a card that comes out really, really nice, because sometimes you need, you know, things that really contrast to stand out and make the picture. So bye.